Roots from Asrejawi of Ga, Mr. Emmanuel Obetsebi-Lamptey joined like-minded persons such as Pa Grant, Akoa Jane, Edward Ekufuado to champion the liberation movement of the Gold Coast. Foremost on the lips of many was his role in assisting the ex-servicemen's voice to reach the corridors of power, the colonial masters. But that day ended fatal, which became known as the Christianborg Crossroads shooting incident. Just like the other members of the Big Sis, he also fell out with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and that sent him into exile, then detention on his return to Ghana. As a little boy at 5 or 6 years, Emmanuel Obetsebi-Lamptey, son of the late lawyer, still holds memories of how he was smuggled out to visit his dad in exile.
On 2 occasions, we had to go and visit him in exile. So that was my real big travel. And Tete, son of Nai Tete, one of the old politicians, would pick my mother, they were arranged, then we'll walk through the bush, we'll use a ferry to cross the Volta, we'll end up around close to the border, walk through the bush, walk through cattle kraals. You know, my mother, she was very brave. And I think we went there twice with my sister. Pardon?
Where was that?
In Togo.
For him, the life of his dad was cut short because he was just 7 years old when he died at the hands of his political opponents. But did Mr. Emmanuel Obetsebi-Lamptey really die a natural death? I visited a surviving member of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, Mr. Joshua Atukwashi, for answers.
Where are the reports? Kutuka, Afrifa, Ali, General report concerning the death of Obetsebi-Lamptey. He was very alive.
Where?
Yes.
Where was he? Where?
At Insawan. We went and take Obetsebi-Lamptey body.
Exhumed the body.
Yes. And then we went and buried him. He was only dead body, which passed through under the arch, independent arch, to Osu Cemetery.
A struggle for freedom tore families apart, with the present generation benefiting from their sweat. Some are still reeling and paying for the past events, for the disruption of life. History has it that many others contributed far more than the Big Sis, but have never been recognized.
And you're talking of only the Big Six. Now I'm thinking of people like Awuna Williams, Pa Grant. He was a guy who was paying all these big bills. He was a merchant. But he wasn't the Big Six. The Big Six happened, I wouldn't say an accident of history, but a significant part of the struggle. You know, the Big Six were picked out of the UGCC, which was made up of a lot of other people who were also very, very. Where are they? Do we recognize them?
During the process of self-government activities, a man like Nico Bramboni, he boycotted the goods of British people. Not Niboni alone. Always they mention Niboni, but they fail to mention Nia Isikite, the mancha of Asren Gan. He, shoulder to shoulder, march on the street. Wonye mama woye. Wonye mama woye. Kache nole wobai. Kajachi nole woye ukra. These are the people who march on the street. The real chief of this country who feel they must also contribute. Many people play their part in so many ways. So truly, a man like late Speaker of the Parliament, Niana, DFano, his father was the first treasurer for United Caucus Convention. He spent a lot. Nkrumah be ungrateful, failed to mention a man like Solomon, Odeche Solomon, who offered his house to Kwame Nkrumah to leave him the rest of his life.
For the two, the distortion in the country's history must be corrected and Ghanaians must be truthful and patriotic. Mr. Emmanuel Obetsebi-Lamptey had 6 children, 5 boys and a girl. The most known in public life was the late Jake Okanta Obetsebi-Lamptey. For GBC News, Clara